Awesome, sweet. So, sat here with my friend Kieran Douglas Jones. First podcast of our Strength in Depth trip to London. And we're just here to talk to Kieran a little bit about sort of his role in the CrossFit community and just see where the conversation meanders from there, really. No real set structure today, just chatting, but we're here at CrossFit Central London, so you'll definitely be hearing some trains rolling overhead, some barbells being dropped, and some timers being started probably.
And an incredibly squeaky chair as well.
And incredibly, yeah.
So I'll try not to move.
That's mine as well, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds good though. A bit of ambience, it makes it sound like it's in a real place.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. So, I guess you're going to use this podcast as a little bit of an excuse for people to kind of get to know you organically, for me to find out a little bit more. Obviously, I know a little bit about you. So I started following Kieran on Instagram back in 2018, I think it was. Yeah. My friend Harry Morris.
Yeah.
Do you ever still chat to Harry?
I do, vaguely, like a couple of, every so often, every few months or so, I'll still speak to him, yeah.
So my friend Harry Morris sort of told me to follow Kieran because he was doing some really cool stuff on Instagram. Started following you. Turned out we were both at Strength in Depth last year.
Yeah, so it's literally about exactly a year, I think, if it was on the same date last year. Exactly a year that we met, a year ago.
Yeah, so happy anniversary.
Yeah. Friend-iversary.
Yeah. We hooked up last time I was here, and just I've always kind of wanted to get you on a podcast, but now Sarah's kindly taken the reins in terms of organising this podcast. It seemed like a good chance to get to know you again. So first things first, I just wanted to I guess ask how you got started within CrossFit, because anyone that does know you will know that you've done a lot of more training sort of by yourself.
Yes,
in a box, right?
I started playing rugby. Obviously, I've been playing rugby for since the age of 8.
Yeah. What position?
I played centre. Okay. 13.
Yeah. Big guy.
Yeah, I played at a decent level. I played some age grade stuff for the Scarlets, and I played for Wales as well at 16 and 18. Played semi-pro. So through those programs, and through those programs, you do a lot of strength and conditioning anyway.
Yeah.
And the strength and conditioning coach we had from 16 to 18. Very good weightlifter, very good technical coach.
Yeah.
So I learnt a lot of, especially the weightlifting stuff there.
What was his name?
Roger West.
Yeah.
He actually went to the Commonwealth Games for Wales. Was it last year, 2 years ago?
In weightlifting?
Yeah, weightlifting. Yeah, weightlifter.
Class.
So I learned a lot of stuff from him. Then while I was in school, around that age, 14, 15, 16, I used to write my own stuff, just YouTube.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Athlete
right?
X
Yeah.
and six-pack shortcuts?
Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah, you just write your own stuff.
Yeah.
I found a lot of James Haskell, actually.
Did
There's
you?
a lot of James Haskell back in the day.
Does he have a channel?
He used to do some stuff with Rich Tidsmarsh. I don't know. That was a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, this was a long time ago.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
23. It's not that long ago.
I mean, it seems like a long time ago. It was at least 8 years, at least. I was doing a lot of that, and kind of writing my own stuff, doing my own training, and then kind of got into CrossFit probably 4-ish years ago, something like that, about 4-ish years ago, and started basically training at my garage gym. So I started with 4 square meters of matting, barbell, bumpers, and then kettlebells and dumbbells.
Yeah. What did she say?
And a bit of PT. That's a running joke at the gym. Don't worry, we'll probably get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a running joke. So I was started the garage gym and had a bunch of equipment dumbbells, kettlebells, and basically self-taught.
Cool.
From there.
Okay, cool. Just to preface this a little bit, you kind of lived out in the sticks a little bit.
I did live out in the middle of nowhere, so in West Wales, if anyone knows the area, St Clair's, or if not, Carmarthen, or if not, it's about half an hour west of Swansea.
There we go.
That's a better one.
First landmark
progressively understand people's geographical knowledge. I lived out in the middle of nowhere, so there was no box until recently, until about May this year, or March last year, sorry. 2019, there was no box, so the closest ones were either 45 minutes west or east, so I did it on my garage. Slowly took over from having 4 meter squares of flooring to having a fully kitted out garage gym.
So that gym became quite extensive in
It
terms of its kit.
became incredibly
kit list, right?
Yeah, incredibly extensive. So yeah, it ended up being basically I coached a group of like 8 people out of there for about 2 years.
Right, so you had like an in-person. You ended up starting a business, right?
And through that, ended up starting a business. Started becoming a coach. I did a bunch of PT, and I did I coached a group of about 8 people 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So kind of added to the equipment that I had in order to facilitate having 8 people in there, right? So like barbells, bumpers, dumbbells, kettlebells, custom built rig, which my dad actually built, drew the drawings for, and then custom built. Yeah, big shout out. Drew the drawings, they custom built it, we fitted it, but yeah, so fully kitted out garage gym.
Yeah, nice, man. I still want to come out there.
I know, you still haven't been.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking about this like ages ago. When we met, you were like planning.
So when we met, you weren't at that point. I think you had talked about potentially coming to London, but there was no direct plans.
No, that's right.
The plan was to come over and get some sessions in. So does the gym still exist?
The gym's still there, so it's still as is. So like 6 months ago, it's like mid 2019 to August 2019. So it's been 7 months.
Yeah.
Jesus, nearly just over 6. Moved to London, but yeah, the garage gym is exactly as is.
Yeah, classic.
Exactly as is. So,
so the business is Fortum Training.
Fortum Training.
It's always been Fortum Training.
It was Fortum Sport, so I started with like do some clothing stuff. Just out of like that was a real long time ago.
Was that just buying stuff in bulk and then
branding, like did a little bit of that. Probably not that successful. Like did a little bit, like sold some shit, right?
Enough to fund the gym.
Enough to fund building the garage gym, and like from there kind of like transitioned into, as I did more coaching, transitioned more into doing more of the coaching and more of the training stuff because that was substantially more fun and more of like the programming side of things, and that sort of led to where things are like now with doing the programming.
So you've got quite like a big online component to your business, right?
Yes, but now all online. Other than coaching at Central, all the Fortum training stuff is all online.
Yeah.
So I have the main program, the Fortum training program, which is like CrossFit. It's straight up competitive CrossFit kind of program.
Yeah.
Which runs 2 sessions most days. And it's built for competitive athletes kind of deal. It's built kind of competitive athlete, but if you do just want more than just like a class program, more and you want to do open gym stuff, but you haven't got the time to split it across 2 days, you can get you can work it out so that it's 60 to 70 minutes a day.
So I remember when I first started following you, you put stuff up on your stories and you kind of go into a lot of detail about the exercises that you're doing, why you're doing them and stuff like that. And that seemed to be quite a good way when at the time, because you were growing quite quickly, right?
Absolutely, pretty quickly. Like I went hard at Instagram for a long time, like posting like twice a day, like you said, heavily aggressive on like stories where
the detail as well, though, right?
The detail
of
it,
like nonsensical stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't like people follow celebrities and they just post shit about their life. Like it was more specifically like about the training, and it was about certain movements that I picked to put in the program in, or like much more detail. Like there would be you'd have to hold down for a while to read it all. Right?
Trust me, mate.
I was gonna say you probably read a few of them.
Most people just put a feed post up and put a caption on it.
Yeah, no, I went hard on stories because
Why?
Just made it interesting because people generally just tap through stories. So just by virtue of putting a lot of text in there, granted it was valuable text, so like it wasn't just text for the sake of it. It did actually have value to explaining either it was why there was a certain rep scheme, why it was a certain movement, why there was pauses, as an example. It just by virtue of there being a lot of text, at least someone will go, they'll hold their thumb on it. Because
it looks different to everything else that they're seeing, right?
Looks different to everything else, right? Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, class, man. So you moved to London just under 7 months ago. To start coaching here. So my girlfriend's already living in London. She's been living here like 18 months now. So the plan always was to move, but just to facilitate the move, coming to coach here worked out excellently well. Worked out incredibly well. Like the guys here, the team. That was the biggest thing that brought me here was how well the guys spoke about the gym and the team that they were building and that kind of thing. And
it's just an excellent group of people.
How long has this box been open?
This box has been open for 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they opened 2010.
Yeah,
2010,
nice.
I think it was. Like vaguely off the top of my head. I think it was March
I won't
20.
hold you to it, it's fine.
Yeah, March 2010. I think it was something like that. I'm pretty sure it was the first box in Central London.
Nice.
Cross Central London was the first box in Central London, and it's been going pretty decently since then.
Yeah, it's so it lives under one of the arches that the trains roll over.
Incredibly well situated in terms of like location. Like we were a 5-minute walk from Southwark Station. Is that where you came?
Yeah,
we
came
from Southwark. It's also like a 8-10 minute walk from London Bridge as well. So like perfectly situated.
And it's actually quite a big gym, isn't it? It's a bit of a maze. Like
it is a bit of a maze, right? You come in and there's like the main arch, and you go back round the corner, and we've got second arch on the other side. Yeah. So like 2 classes run at once.
Oh, that's okay. So you can have concurrent classes.
Yeah, so morning and evening, 7 till. We have 6 a.m. as well. 7 till 9, and then like 4 till 8 every night. We'll have double classes running. So it'll be like the CrossFit stuff will be in the main arch. Yeah. And then the strength or weightlifting or
like a speciality stuff.
Yeah, class. It's more on the other side. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you've done your level 1 and level 2 now.
Yes, yeah, did my L1. I always forget what year it was when I did it.
A few years ago.
It was a good. It was like 2017.
Yeah,
something like that. Actually, I think I've been coaching close to nearly 3 years now.
Nice.
Or at least I think it is 3 years. Yeah, I think it's 3 years exactly this month. So I did my L1 in 2017, and then did my L2 about 3-4 months ago.
Yeah,
back in late October. Sorry, 2019. Yeah. So then that.
So I guess as a coach, what's your sort of interest in terms of how you want to coach people? Like, obviously the program, like you said, can be used by anyone, but you also mentioned that it's kind of specifically for people that maybe want to have more of a compete style program. But then obviously in a box environment, that's not everyone.
Exactly.
Right.
No, absolutely. You're right. That isn't everyone. But in terms of like on the floor, like hands-on coaching, there's a lot more of a focus on the movement, right? There's a not to say that there isn't a focus on when you're programming online for competitive stuff, but when you're in person and you're coaching people that are coming from the office, they're coming in the morning before they go to the office. They're coming in midday in their lunch break, or they're coming after work. Like there's a hugely intense focus on how people move and drilling movement like over and over and over and over, because they can always become better. And also when you think of it, a kind of thing that a lot of people tend to miss is this isn't their focus. They want to come in, they want to get the work done, and they want to go home. So having someone that does tell them that to concentrate on their movement and to fix this or fix that or fix the other, it's perhaps things that they wouldn't potentially think about. Yeah,
so I find when I'm coaching a lot of people, almost maybe sometimes when they're just starting off more so, but like there's that expectation of just coming in, they don't have to think about the workout because you've sort of thought about it, and as a result they're not necessarily thinking about why they're doing stuff or what they should be personally working on. So it's kind of mindless in a way, the exercise that they're trying to do, and I think obviously, if they're coming in the evening more so, or maybe even in the morning, maybe they're coming in from work and stuff, so they're already sort of neurologically fatigued. So how do you find sort of kind of bringing the focus back to why they're here and what they're doing?
So that's a good question. That is a good question. So that first 3-5 minutes of the class, generally for a lot of the classes, is the most important bit. That time you spend at the whiteboard to outset firstly what's coming, so what the workout is, secondly what's expected and what the purpose of those pieces are, and then thirdly would be like ways to attack it. That's potentially more sort of specific to like a Metcon piece, but like usually the way the program runs here, it's either like a skill or strength or some form of gymnastic stuff, which would be part A, and then part B would be like a workout, right? It would be a Metcon, it would be a full time, it would be an AMRAP, it would be an EMOM. Setting up your expectations for what's expected in part A, why we're doing it, what benefit that has. Like if you look at an example we've had this morning, right? We got 6x3 deadlifts, 2-second pause at the knee. Yeah. Where currently our strength stuff is a lot of pauses. So earlier in the week they've had pause front squats, And we're building on that with a deadlift, pause at the knee. It forces people to take their weight a little bit lighter, but it forces them into good positions. It forces to over-exaggerate that setup so that when you get to the knee, you're still in a good position. So you're not folded over like a deck chair, like rounded over at the back, you're not getting loose in the upper spine, that kind of stuff. Nice. So just setting out the expectations of sort of why we're doing it, what is expected of them, like how you would work around that versus it being a regular 6x3. Because most people are comfortable coming in like it's a 5x3. They just got to deadlift. They just got to rip it off the floor, right? Putting the pause in makes you think about it a little more. So, giving them the sort of the things to think about, which they potentially wouldn't do. Which, as a coach, you look at a workout very differently than someone coming to do it would, than a member would, right? Then if you look at like the Metcon for today is 30, 20, 10, burpee, touch the bar, and toaster bar. So that one, like, it's a toaster bar workout. Realistically, for everyone, the skill, the difficulty in that workout is the toaster bar. So we have time in there where we're drilling toaster bar technique. Setting out for people that have just about got toaster bar, like they can use it until you lose it kind of deal, so at least you're getting some of the skill, of the full skill, but they potentially haven't got that much volume. So it's things like that first 5 minutes of any session, that time at the whiteboard, hugely important in my point of view.
I agree.
For all classes, right? Yeah,
for sure. So I've just started at a new CrossFit gym up near me, and the owners obviously wanted to see how I coached first of all, and one of the things that they sort of suggested that I do is spend more time on the whiteboard at the start of the workout, and it's actually really improved the classes that I do, not even just at that gym, at other gyms as well, because and even I guess within my PT and stuff, is just constantly coming back to why we're doing certain things, because if people don't understand, then not only are they maybe potentially not doing it to the best of their abilities, or sort of putting the most amount of focus into it, but their engagement in what they're doing is
buy-in. You get their buy-in.
Right,
you get their buy-in from it, right? Like if you can explain to people why they're doing things, and it's not just in there to make them tired or just in there for the sake of it. You can explain why things are in a certain order, why we're doing them at all, or why we're doing certain movements to warm up for workouts or things like this. It builds buy-in, right? It builds buy-in, and they understand, like, oh, I'm doing this for a reason, or I'm doing this morning before the toaster bar. I had them doing Jefferson curls, right? Loosen up those hamstrings, get nice and long. Had them sit on the floor first and try and, like, the old straight leg reach for the hamstrings, and most of them are like fucking stuck like a deck chair, can't reach anywhere. Jefferson curls, get them to loosen off those hamstrings a little bit. They sit on the floor again, and they're like 3, 4, 5 inches closer. Generally, if you change that onto toaster bar, if you've got 5 inches extra out of your hamstrings, you're going to get your toes automatically much closer, right? So, like, and explaining why we're doing things, and even things for like warming up, having a purpose behind the warm up or purpose behind certain drills.
Exactly.
Builds that buy-in.
I think a lot of people, their expectations from a warm up is that it's just going to elevate their heart rate.
There's a lot more to it, right?
The actual physical element of warming up, rather than actually just like giving it some more thought. Cool, man. So you've been here for 6 months. So now, what's your time split between how many hours are you doing coaching here? What sort of time has Fortum training taken up for you? You're still posting daily, but your content's changed massively in the time that I've been following you.
It's changed a lot. Yeah, so it's changed a lot, right? At the moment, my coaching is a little bit less at the moment, just the start of the year, right? It's between sort of 12, 15 hours a week, which is fine. It's great. I get to coach enough that I still get to keep my hand in there, but like, I still get to do plenty of it. The other part of my time here, I run the social pages. I run the social pages for the gym, right? Cool, so I get all the content that goes out on there. Nice. I run all that. Then the rest of my time on the sort of Fortum training stuff, the programming itself takes up the majority of the time.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Right? Takes up. Yeah, it's a long time, right? So like the way it runs for me is I've got the sort of Fortum training program, which is like the main. That's the main program. I've got the muscle club program, which is a little bit different.
That's new, right?
Yeah, it's new, right? It's a different kind of thing. It's kind of like performance meets aesthetics kind of deal, like bodybuilding, crossed with
functional bodybuilding.
kind of like functional bodybuilding, but a bit more CrossFit.
Okay,
So it's a bit more CrossFit. Like, you know, see everyone like wants to train and they like wonder why they don't build muscle doing CrossFit. Like generally some people do, because most people do because they've come from not training at all.
Right.
But you see people like do a lot of CrossFit and they're like, oh, I'm not building muscle, not building muscle. It's generally most of the time because 3 sets of 10 every week doesn't build muscle.
Right.
It's not enough. It's not enough of a stimulus, right?
So what sort of stimulus are you trying to?
So with the Muscle Club program, it basically runs off two lower body days a week, 2 upper body push pull, which are split between vertical push, vertical pull, so like strict press, chin up, pull up, and then the other push pull would be bench press and row, that kind of deal. Then there's a Thursday each week is kind of like an active recovery, so there'd be like maybe some higher skill stuff, so it might be like practice handstand walks. It might be a set amount of time, just practice, rather than it being like set reps and whatever, along with a little bit of like conditioning. It'd be like a 30-minute sort of total work, just long and low, flush things out. Sunday then is always complete rest. So we've got 6 days a week on it. Yeah. The purpose on the Muscle Club stuff is sort of manipulating your training using tempos, using negatives, using like pauses,
different ways of creating more time and attention, in the stretch phase, things like that.
So like manipulating what you do, like in your time and attention, your pauses, all of that good stuff, to facilitate like the mechanisms of hypertrophy, right? So like whether you're looking at the like mechanical tension of like lifting some real heavy weight, like nothing builds muscle better than lifting over 85%, right? It's a good let me just swear.
No, you
that's
can
the
swear,
first time. Oh, right, cool.
Yeah, you can. Cool. How about man?
Usually I tone it down a little bit, but usually it's a lot more.
I'm surprised you asked stuff like
that. So mechanical tension, lost my words now. Like your mechanical tension, like you're lifting heavy weights, right? Then you're like metabolic stress, where you're trying to pump the blood, like the pump. You're trying to pump the blood full of muscle, pump the muscle full of blood. That way around, like higher volume, like banded stuff, where there's like 30 banded curls into 30 tricep push downs.
You like your banded, don't you, man?
I enjoy banded stuff. I use them a bit less in terms of like the strength stuff now.
If you had access to a cable machine, would you do more stuff on the cable machine than you do on the bands, or not? Because I guess the thing is with the bands, right? The more stretch on the band, the more tension.
Yes.
The more load in essence.
Yes.
But on a cable, it's constant.
It's constant. So ideally, like if you look at like most CrossFit gyms, they don't have them, right? They don't have cable machines. But it's a good point. If there was one available, for me personally, I would use it a lot more. I wouldn't put it in my programming because most gyms don't have it. There's ways around it for CrossFit gyms. Like you can whack a PVC between 2 bands and that pull down kind of deal. Absolutely. So I do that a little bit. That's a good point. There is a big difference between what you get out of a cable versus a band.
Right.
But for like metabolic stress, like you're talking like pump the blood, pump the muscle full of blood, like 30 banded curls, 30 banded push downs, stuff like that. It's higher volume, so like filling them, just pumping the blood, right? You get that massive pump.
Yeah, man.
It makes a big difference.
So is your training? I know you post a lot about Muscle Club. So is your training more is that more Muscle Club?
So for
days?
me personally, I do a bit of a mix.
So a hybrid, right?
Yeah, I'm doing like the Muscle Club program. I've been following it in full for past 2 months.
Cool.
I'm fitter and stronger than I've ever been.
Yeah.
So like it is a very hybrid program. Like if you follow it, the 2 sessions a day kind of deal. Like
is that what it is? 2 sessions a day.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 sessions.
Okay, nice. And how are you splitting those sessions? Like, what's the difference in the content between? Is it an AM and PM session?
It is. It's an AM. Yeah. In essence, it's an AM and PM, right? So like for a Monday, as an example, like the Monday morning would be like some conditioning work. It would be like 40 minutes of conditioning stuff.
Yeah.
Then the PM might be the upper body push and pull.
Cool.
The Tuesday session might be all lower body. Wednesday you might get because it's still. CrossFit as well. Wednesday could be weightlifting. It could be only snatches. It could be only cleans. It could be clean and jerks. Like it's set out in maybe an A, B, and C kind of deal. The PM session there could be the second push-pull for that week.
Cool.
The Friday could be conditioning and lower body. Excuse me. And then the Saturday is usually pure CrossFit. It's just it's a long, like, sort of 30, 40-minute workout.
Yeah.
Like, it's called Saturday Slam. I put it on all my programs every week.
I've seen them, man.
Some of them are savage.
Yeah.
Some of them are savage. I've not had a chance to do many of them, just because, like, training on Saturday for the last few weeks has been for team training, ready for SiD. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we will, man.
That's so, because it is still a hybrid program, there is still a fair amount of weightlifting in there.
Yeah.
You'll squat twice a week. You'll bench press every week. There'll be drop sets.
So that's an interesting thing to talk about then. The bench press is not a movement that typically comes up a lot in CrossFit gyms, except sometimes as an accessory exercise. But I'd imagine that most CrossFit gyms are programming it no more than 4 times a year.
Yeah, that's right. It's very rare.
In essence.
Same for us.
So why do you think it's important enough to include it much more regularly?
It's, if you're looking at chest development, there's no better exercise, right?
Yeah.
Look,
So why would it be beneficial though to have more chest development?
Firstly, it looks better, right?
And
that
it is muscle club, right?
It is muscle club, right? Yeah. And a bit of adding some show to your go, right? There's a lot of people who can go, but they got much show.
One of the guys at the gym we work at, his slogan is anterior for the show, posterior for the game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. No, I like that. That's good. Yeah, exactly right. Like it's you're not gonna you're not gonna get a great looking chest unless you bench press some weight, right?
Yeah.
That's firstly. Also, it's pretty fun. Like, it makes it, because it's not in CrossFit programming that much. For guys that if you followed a lot of CrossFit programming for a long time, you don't bench press.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite a nice mix to just put them in there. It's also, you overhead a lot.
Yeah, for sure. There's not a lot of
there's not a lot of sort of horizontal pressing.
Other than in push-ups and...
Other than in push-ups, right? But you're always doing high volume.
Yeah,
it's always going to be high volume. It's not like high weight. It's
the
not
resistance,
like,
isn't it?
Exactly, right? So also, like, if you're looking at it from a shoulder stability point of view, chest plays a fairly big role when you got the bar overhead, right? So you see a lot of people when they get a heavy bar overhead, they're fucking like a flag, like waving around, right? Bench pressing, definitely assists a good bunch in that. If you've ever done bench press and toaster bar,
as a
combo, as a couplet, you'll feel your chest on the toaster bar.
Oh man, that sounds rank.
Yeah, it's horrific. It's horrible. It's not the most fun thing in the world. Like doing toaster bar, I'm like, why is my chest hurting? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, but yeah, it plays a lot in overhead, a little bit in overhead stability. But yeah, also for the most part, particularly for the muscle club, it's like that chest development, right?
Yeah, cool. So we're kind of going to move away from training for a little bit. The first thing I want to address is your taste in music, dude.
Oh, the country music.
So Kieran listens to country music to work out to, which is kind of definitely a big CrossFit thing.
Yeah,
but more so in the States, I'd say, than in the UK.
Yeah.
I listen to pretty much exclusively hip hop when I'm training, unless I'm in a group setting where it will be a bit more varied. But I just can't get motivated or pumped to country music.
The reason why I started playing country music, I just like the sound of it and I can sing the songs.
Yeah.
And because I trained on my own for so long, I trained on my own for like 3-4 years, every day.
Yeah.
I needed something that I could just enjoy listening to, rather than something that would pump me up. Right. If that makes sense. I enjoy training anyway. I don't need to be pumped to go and train. I like doing it. So I just need something to like, that just I like enjoy listening to. Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I think. Like personally, it kind of depends on which part of the session I'm in, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm doing like I'm gonna do your program today, which I think is 40, 30, 20, 10 box jumps.
It's what is it? Off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay,
I don't know,
but it's basically a workout where I'm gonna need some something in the background that's going to keep me like...
Yeah, it's going to keep you moving, right? Yeah, because that one for 40, 30, 20, 10, like it starts off big sets. Like
exactly.
It's a long time in those 40s.
So something like that is more important than the music that's on in the background. Whereas I guess like during a lifting, just lifting, I can kind of get on board with a lot of different things.
Don't worry, you're not the only one who's not on board with the country music. I've actually been banned from playing it here.
You've been banned? Oh mate, how pissed are you?
No, that's fine. I do play stuff. I just had to change my playlist, right? Is what happened was because I like the same songs. And I like the same songs because I like those songs.
Because you know them, right?
Yeah, because I know them.
Familiarity.
Every time they come on, I sing them.
Yeah.
I played the playlist so much since I've been here that I've actually been banned from playing it. So then I had to change my playlist.
That's the tissues done.
Yeah, I know, right? So I had to change it. But yeah.
Okay.
So I play a bit more hip hop now. Like this morning, like for the classes now, I'll probably play a country for like the first 20 minutes while we're like warming up or doing the strength stuff. But on the workout, I'll change out, put like a bunch of hip hop on. Guys like it.
Yeah, nice man. So I guess like another auditory medium, audiobooks. This is something that we've kind of connected on before.
Yeah. It is.
And it's something that I'm a huge fan of because I find it really hard I don't get much time to sit and read books. I'm driving a lot.
Spot on.
So I've gone through phases with it, but I'm definitely back into an audiobook phase at the moment where where I'm taking on a bunch of information through audiobooks. I recently listened to Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah, I was going to say.
Which is an incredible book. But yeah, you've listened to quite a few, right?
Yeah, I've got an incredible amount of money invested in audiobooks.
You've got a wealth of
incredible. I'm keeping it afloat apparently. Jesus.
Audible sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? Extreme Ownership was one of the first few that I listened to.
Yeah,
it's
cool,
potentially one of my favourite ones.
Yes.
Just because what you get out of it, right?
Yeah, it's just about leadership.
It's
really,
about leadership. It's about like taking ownership of your own life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you can take from it.
And I like the fact that you're referenced to as a leader, no matter where you are in the chain of command. So
Yes.
you don't have to be the CEO or the owner of the company to see yourself as a leader, right?
That's right. Absolutely. No, absolutely, 100%.
And that's where the ownership comes in.
That is where the ownership comes in. It's taking control of your own actions, even if it's caused by someone else. You can always have ownership over
The communication.
over your feelings about it, over what you do about it, that kind of thing, right?
And I think I don't know if you're on the same page of this, but for me, part of the reasons it resonated is it has sort of direct correlation to sort of Stoic philosophy about controlling what you have control over and letting go of what you don't.
That's right. I've not. To be fair, I haven't actually made my way through the what's the Stoic the 365.
Oh yeah.
I haven't made through the daily Stoic.
It's in my bag, mate.
Is it? I haven't made my way through that yet. I have got it. I've not made my way through it. I same reason. Like I listen to audiobooks because I just sitting down and reading. I just generally just haven't got that time to be able to sit down and read everything.
What are you listening to now?
At the moment, I think I'm currently listening to.
Oh,
I think I'm on the 12-week year.
12-week year.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's about breaking your year up into 12-week segments and like using that as your year. So a day would be a week. A week is a month, and that kind of deal. It's an interesting one. It's a little bit of a time management kind of thing.
Sure.
It's not potentially not one of my favourites. Like it's not one of the most profound ones that I've listened to. Like Extreme Ownership. I also read Mindset, Carl S. Dweck. That was the first one I read.
That's the goat of books, really.
Incredible. That's my favourite one all time.
As well, there's not many books that I would probably go back to. That is definitely one.
Yeah,
that is
one. I've actually lent that to someone. I've been meaning to get that back because I want to read it again.
Well, it's like that's one of the books that I will have a paper copy of.
Yes.
There's certain books. So like the Daily Stoic, which Kieran was just on about, is a book where basically from January 1st through to December 31st, you've got a Stoic quote at the top of each page, which is then explained in sort of modern day terms and in terms of how it's interpreted or maybe what the meaning of it or the significance of it is, and it just gives you an intention for the day. And I bought it initially as an audiobook. It's a day a page, so it doesn't really work as an audiobook for me.
That's same.
So I bought it as a
same.
paper copy so I could see it.
Yeah, that's a good
And actually,
one.
it turns out it's actually just like a cool practice to do as part of my morning routine.
Yeah,
not that I have much of a routine, but like.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I get what you mean. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm the same. I got the audiobook of it, and I was like, I haven't made my way through it. I was like, nah.
It's because it doesn't tell you when it's the next day.
It does. It rolls through.
So
I'm lost. I've listened to 5 days worth in a row. I'm like, not a clue.
A weekly Stoic,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, cool. So, like, and then any other recommendations?
The Alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
The Alchemist, a classic. I've listened to that like 4 times.
Zach, actually, I read that.
Is it?
Yeah, I imagine that's
the
great
audiobook
audio.
is excellent. Like, I'm not great. I'm not a great reader. I can read. Not the point. I say this all the time. I just don't enjoy reading that much. Like, if I read something, I have to read it like twice sometimes just for it to go in my head. Whereas if I'm listening, I can just absorb it.
I don't know if you find this, but like I was talking to someone the other day, and we were saying like we can go like a few pages and then be like, I haven't taken any of this in.
None of it. Yeah. So Alchemist is excellent. I really enjoyed it. I feel like every time I've listened back to that, like of the 4 times, there's something else I picked up that I missed in one of the previous.
And just a really lovely book in general.
Yes,
like,
cool story. Cool. It's fiction, right? But it's like there is a purpose, there's a meaning behind it, isn't there?
That's a good one.
You have to listen to or read to understand. It's difficult to explain, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's about your personal legend, right? Zach, you said.
Zach put me onto that. Zach has an incredible more money invested in audiobooks than I do.
Really?
Ridiculous, man. Like, he's listened to everything.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably name an audiobook and there's a good chance he's listened to it.
Yeah.
You put me onto that. You put me onto Rich Dad, Poor Dad as well.
Oh,
that's
yes,
a you listen to that as well. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Have you listened to Why We Sleep?
I haven't yet.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
that is a phenomenal
all
book.
over Instagram. I've seen it. All over Instagram, but I haven't listened to it now.
Yeah, that's a fantastic book by Matthew Walker.
Yeah.
I listened to 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson at the moment.
I have. I've listened to it.
What do you think?
Have you hard to listen to?
I'm not all the way through it.
You're not. Okay.
Rule 3.
Okay, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah, I've got a long way to go. Yeah.
Strap in. It's a long audiobook.
It's very philosophical, right?
Very philosophical. For me personally, like, very difficult to follow. I found it hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to really concentrate to like listen to the words, and like it would be for me it was difficult to. But without a doubt, if you can get through the 15 hours of it, there's probably some stuff in there for you for anyone that's of value. For me, it was really difficult to listen to.
So it's kind of talking about the coexistence of order and chaos in your life, right? Or at least at the start. From the 3 chapters. Maybe it changes type. And how the idea is that they coexist rather than one dominating the other.
Mm-hmm.
Company of One by Paul Jarvis. Big recommendation.
Is it?
Yeah. Talking about in terms of setting up as a business, setting up to actually not just have like an infinite kind of financial goal or whatever the goal is, like, and not everyone needs to be a millionaire to achieve what they want from life.
More of like a business focused sort of audiobook.
Yeah,
rather
for
than
sure. So probably more appropriate for the form training. And then I think last time when we last saw each other, I was listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yes,
which is
that's
a
great book. That one's quite a popular one. That's like a
lot, and so it should be.
Yeah, so it should be. It's excellent. It's really good. There's a lot of good takeaways from it. Like, it's definitely it's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a very good one. I have not listened to that for a while. There's some that I definitely need to go back and re-listen to. That's probably one of them. Extreme Ownership is one as well. I think I've listened to it twice. I'll probably go back and listen to that again.
So he's released 2 more books, The Dichotomy of Leadership, which I would definitely recommend.
Is
as
it?
a follow-up? Because basically he talks about how when he released Extreme Ownership, people took it to the extreme.
Okay.
And the dichotomy is kind of taking enough ownership, but not necessarily. An easy example would be sort of choosing when you're gonna sort of lay down the law a little bit in terms of people that work under you, for example, and things like that. And he talks about how you should maybe approach finding that balance. That's a great one. Okay, so let's bring this back to training then, just to finish things up. So the purpose of this trip, the reason that we're here, is to watch Strength and Depth and all the fantastic athletes that are going to be there this weekend, including yours truly.
Myself, yeah.
So you're here on a team, right?
Team CrossFit Central London.
Yeah,
so
class,
it's
man.
myself, it's Chris, the head coach who met this morning, Leo, who's the manager at the gym. She's one of the girls, and then Marie, who is she's from another gym, but she knows Chris and Leo very well. So yeah, we've got a good team. We managed to get ourselves a ballot entry for the affiliate cup.
You only found out recently, right?
Yeah, so like we initially did get a ballot entry for it. Couldn't quite get a team together because we just couldn't, and not everyone could pull together for the same time. Then it was about a month ago. Literally about just before Christmas, I think it was. We sort of managed to pull a team together. So we got ourselves.
How you feeling?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm fitter than I've been, stronger.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
As a team,
we've gone really well. We've done about 4 weeks. We've done some extensive team training.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Are you all four of you coaching here?
So Chris is the head coach. Leo does a little bit of coaching. She's mainly the manager.
Yeah.
I coach her. Marie is actually from another gym. She's an athlete from another gym.
Right. Okay. I was gonna say, like, I'm sure that training and stuff will benefit your relationships here as well.
Oh, 100%. It's definitely, like, we're all the team here. The coaching team here and the admin team here is excellent anyway.
Yeah.
Like, the guys get on really well. Everyone trains together. Like, you can see a lot of the guys who are training out here now.
Yeah.
It's great. But it should be good. We should do. I think we're going to do fairly well.
You're there tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, which is Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so we're on tomorrow morning and then Sunday.
Come on, we'll make sure we come over.
Looking forward to it. Some good events. Some real good events. Have you seen the
program
for them? Like even for the affiliate cup stuff. Like it's it's good.
It's exciting.
Very exciting. Like this is the first decent size comp I've done. I've done a couple of like pairs which have been much smaller, kind of in-house kind of deals.
Sure.
But this is the first decent size competition I've done. It's super fun.
And you did the Open officially.
I did the this year. There's the first 2019.
Yeah.
First time I've done the Open in full ever.
Finally,
I know. It's fucking like 4 years, right?
You did quite well.
I did. I think it was 200th or something, somewhere around there.
Not bad,
in the UK, in the UK, it looked much better when you look at it on the UK leaderboard than it does in the world. So yeah,
that's what it matters. Yeah, in the UK,
I think it was like 200 and something. So I was super happy. Like it got progressively better as the workouts became sort of more high skill or more like CrossFit, quote unquote CrossFit. Like the first one was like turn and burn kind of deal, right? Like that.
Yeah. The clean and jerks and I grabbed overhead and the burpees.
And the burpees, you just got to go fast. Like I got, my finishes got progressively better as we got through. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will say best of luck for this weekend.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man, and good to chat.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you online?
Online at Kieran Douglas Jones. That's my personal Instagram, or at Fortem Training, FORTEM Training.
Yeah.
And then website for Fortem Training is www.fortemtraining.com.
Awesome. Anything else you want to mention that's coming up this year for you?
What else we got coming up this year? Nothing much else, to be honest. Like,
I'm sure people can find out on the socials.
Sure, follow on the socials. There'll be I got some plans for some stuff, like loose plans. So it's not too much detail yet. But follow on the socials. I'm sure there'll be plenty more info coming.
Banging. Thank you very much, mate.